Hey there, and welcome to the show. I'm really excited you're here. Today in the show, I have Paul Nagaoka. And what's fascinating about him is for a time, he was a celebrity in Asia. He was an actor. He was a celebrity. He was a model, in fact. And it was something he wanted to try. He also wanted to travel more, and him and his wife wanted to travel. And it was all enabled by real estate. And he wanted to take a break for 3 to 4 months, and it ended up being a 2.5 year stint. And it was just a fascinating story, all enabled by real estate. But what was interesting about that is he wanted to be really clear about the what he wanted to do in his life, and at the same time he was burning out in his real estate business because he was doing a bunch of things wrong, things he didn't enjoy doing, and he came to the conclusion that he wanted to stop that, but he wanted to leverage the real estate he had built to basically pay his way while he's traveling in Asia. Fascinating story. And now he's back syndicating deals, but he's doing it in a different way. So fascinating journey, and it's a really, really cool interview about living an intentional life. Before we get into the interview, I just want to give you a heads up. I'm kind of leaking this out a little bit right now, but our next live event is scheduled. It's at Steelmaker Live. Put this down your calendar, July 25th to 27th. It's actually 2 full days, 26 and 27, with a reception on the 25th, going to be in Dallas, Texas. All right, so tickets are at themichaelblank.com/event. That's Steelmaker Live. That's all I'll say about it right now. Really excited. I already have a bunch of speakers whose names are recognized, are already confirmed and coming. So maybe I'll tell you a little bit more about those guys next time. Really excited about it. We have some early bird pricing right now, and so tickets are going up all the way out to $1,300. So you can get them now for much less than that. So go over to michaelblank.com/event and grab yours right now. Really excited about that. It'll be the biggest event that we'll have so far. It's going to be in Dallas, easy to get to from anywhere in the country. So check that out. So without any further ado, let's get into the interview with Paul Nagaoka. Here we go. Hey, Paul, welcome to the show today.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Very good. I see you're relaxing in your air chair there, or whatever that is. So that's
Yeah.
perfect. Speaking of relaxing, I don't know if you did a lot of relaxing, but tell us a little bit about your life in Asia. You were like a rock star or something, supermodel. I don't know. What were you doing over there?
Yeah. Okay. So I took 2.5 years out of real estate, and I went to Asia and ended up getting into modeling. And it was really fun. I had a great experience. Did pretty well at it, actually. I was nominated the top fashion model in the continent of Asia in 2016. And then I got into acting and TV show hosting. Yeah, it was really cool. I booked 9 different TV shows. I was on the #1 drama in the English channel in Singapore. I did a HBO original, hosted a reality TV show for Fox, and got to kind of be a actor and celebrity in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How did that? I mean, did you just go over there just for like a vacation, or what was your idea when you said, "Okay, I'm going to take a break"? Were you planning on doing all this stuff, or what was your idea when you got started?
No, so to be honest, Michael, I was getting a bit tired of real estate and the different parts of real estate that I was doing and the way that I was doing it. And I wanted to take a break from that and just find out if I have different passions and kind of pursue other types of things. And my wife and I always had this dream of getting to go travel the world and go experience different cultures. And this trip was supposed to be a 3 to 6 month trip. And it 2.5 years later, we ended up coming home. So it kind of got extended, and it was just incredible, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was just awesome. We traveled all over the region, and because I was a celebrity, I got to do all this cool stuff for free. We stayed at hotels in the Maldives and in Cambodia and in Thailand and Bali and all over the region, and got invited to actually this kind of funny story. But so right before I ended up moving back to the United States, I went from 3 days before getting on an airplane going to the Asia TV Awards, which is broadcasted in front of 500 million people. And 2 of my TV shows were nominated. And I was in the VIP section with the actors. They did the after party, and I had 40 fans waiting outside the door for me. And so I go out there all screaming, and I want to sign autographs. 3 days later, I'm in the Midwest in a small rural community, like just out in the middle of nowhere with nothing cool to do, and nobody knows who I am. And it was just like this crazy wild transition. So, man, it was just like it was epic. It was a really cool experience.
That's pretty cool, and it was enabled by your real estate investments.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So that was what gave me the opportunity to do it. I kind of, quasi-retired, didn't necessarily need to make more money. I had some cash flow from apartment complexes and some other properties I owned, and just did it, man. Like took the step and decided to do it. I actually had a 4-month-old baby at the time, if you can believe it. I got on an airplane, 36 hours of traveling to Asia with a 4-month-old baby, and just did it. So
Life of adventure. Now, but it sounds like you said you burned out a little bit. We don't hear a lot of that, except for when you're flipping a lot of houses. We do hear quite a bit of that. But you had some cash flow properties. What was it that was burning you out?
all right, well, good. Uh, might be a good time to segue into kind of how I got into real estate a little bit. But I started studying from when I was very young and got interested in it and really passionate about it. Started investing or studying no money on real estate investing when I was 12 years old. And I was a different kid. Started investing in the stock market when I was 8, and wanted to take Alan Greenspan's job as chairman of the Fed when I was 6. It's like I was just mentally wired different. And took the money I made out of college, started a business, put myself through college, and I took that money, started investing in real estate, and started doing deals. I was a loan officer and real estate agent at the time, and I'd put deals together. And and I did it for 14 years and grew it into a business where I had 35 employees and subs that were working for me. And I had a construction division in-house, property management division in-house, accounting division in-house, and a broker that was on staff helping me find deals. And I'd put these things together, but the problem was, Michael, was I was doing all of the different components of real estate myself. And I was managing all the top-level elements of the business myself. And some of those things, real estate's just too wide to be really talented at every single different area. And there's a lot of different types of skill sets that you do and you need, like accounting and managing an accounting department is a lot different than managing acquisition side and learning how to negotiate deals. So I was doing things I wasn't liking. I was haggling with municipalities over zoning issues and dealing with, attorneys and doing the top level evictions that no one else could handle on my team, and just, I was just doing all the different parts that I did enjoy, and all the parts I actually enjoy. I was only spending, a month or 2 a year doing that. So even though I was only working 20 hours a week and the money was fine, it's like life's too short to do something with your work that doesn't feel meaningful and isn't fun. So that's what kind of led to me taking a break from real estate.
What did you realize that you liked doing or even loved doing, and what did you realize you really didn't like doing at all or weren't good at?
So great question. So I think that's where that takes me now. So now I started again. I'm back in real estate. I'm doing syndications, taking people's money and investing in real estate deals together, put my money in deals. And I'm doing it completely differently. I'm like actively, I'm not kidding. This is no BS here. I like actively really enjoy going to work. Like it's so much fun. It's not as fun as like, flying to Okinawa and doing like 7 days of filming a TV show and, that kind of thing. But it's super fun. Like I'm having a great time because I found the elements that I'm the best at in real estate and that I enjoy the most. And I'm basically laser focused on those. And I have, I built a team around me now that I have a couple partners that can take care of some of the elements that I don't enjoy. And they love it. They're like super good at it. So for me, I don't enjoy taking the deal from start to completion, managing all the different elements of the construction phase and the operation side. So my partner, Aaron, he loves that stuff. Like we did an apartment deal, 17-unit apartment deal together. I did it with his dad, and he's kind of managing the different components. We get this 14-page report, Michael, I kid you not, 14-page summary statement, balance sheet, how we did a year to date versus our budget, and then actual every single check and every single item that was spent on that deal. And, I glance at the top page every month and I kind of comb through it a bit. He emails back. He's like, there's not enough detail in here. I really need to know what's going on with the air conditioning units. Like what happened with this line item on page 14, da, 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 da. And so it's like guys like that really love that, bringing that and recruiting that on my team and having them be talented enough that I can really trust them. So, the legal department and legal side, I have someone else managing that. So I get to do the part that I love, which is finding the deal, putting the different interesting components together and doing the negotiation and participating in raising the money.
Yeah, you're a relationship guy, and with it probably a bit of marketing. It sounds like you enjoy that as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's That's my jam.
It's a great partnership because all the things you just mentioned you need in a successful partnership. You need the relationship guys, you need the marketing guys, but then you also need the detail oriented guys. You need the Excel spreadsheet guys. You need all of them, and it's rare when everything is in one person. We see a lot of partnerships forming in a very similar way. One's a more relationship guy, broker guy, money raising guy, and then there's a detail oriented guy. The one who's in the spreadsheets and the weeds. And if you don't have both of those covered, you're going to be in trouble, right? I mean, if you weren't looking detailed reports or doing detailed underwriting, you couldn't do the deals that you wanted to. Now, you could probably do it from a competent skill level, but you would probably hate it every single minute of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're totally right. And Michael, I think, for me, I love the analyzing the deal on the front end. I mean, spreadsheets, I get lost in them. I have so much fun at it. But when it goes from that to practical, and how do we, the furnace in this unit that isn't heating the second floor well enough, and we need a larger blower to be like that that stuff just kills my soul. So, and I think the piece that I did this time that I didn't do last time. So like I really believed in Andrew Carnegie's vertical integration idea. So like, I had the construction crew in-house. I had 15 guys on my team that I ran myself, and when I first started out, I was running wire into the houses so I could learn how wire gets run to a box and understand the different elements. And then I had a good, competent property management company and team there. But the thing is, now I have partners, so people that are so talented you could never hire them. People that that are entrepreneurial and skillful in those ways, and bringing that level caliber of person on my team, I can really trust and rely on that, as opposed to before I would hire someone for $40,000 or $60,000 a year, and I'd still really have to manage and look over the shoulder and make sure those different components are happening well. Well, now I have somebody that's my partner that's talented at those things and doesn't mind that part of the process. So,
it's very similar. I mean, that approach we found is to be most fruitful is partnering your way to deals. The pro on that is you don't have any overhead. You're not paying them a salary. The other pro is that the partner has the ability to grow their income as much as they want. The downside is you're giving up equity, right? You're giving up equity when you're paying $50,000. But I'm with you. I've had better results just focusing on growing the pie and then putting someone in the pie and helping them, and they help me grow the pie as well, therefore growing their size of the pie as well. Though you're giving up more equity in the deal, you're getting a much better result. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Yeah, Michael, you hit it nail on the head. So it's not about what I feel is important in negotiating any real estate deal or just how you approach finance in general is it's not about necessarily how much of the pie what percentage of the pie you get, is how big is that pie. I'd rather have 20% of a really freaking big pie than 100% of a really small one. So that's, when you're looking at how do I do volume, how do I do the parts I love, and how do I, kind of scale what I'm doing, you have to bring other people involved in that. No man's an island. You have to have that support.
And I think there's a little bit of a limiting belief by some people. I see that they're just really concerned about giving up their equity. Like, oh, I'm not giving up my equity. Oh, I'm giving up too much of equity. And I think it holds them back because they're so focused on they're almost like they're trying to hold on to something, and it limits their ability to grow the pie. On the other hand, people that are more, I would say maybe more generous is maybe the one way to do it, and really focusing on increasing the size of the opportunity. I think that's the way to grow the business, and you do attract a different person, and they're going to work their butt off. And if you divided if you couldn't pay them, these are frequently they were highly compensated people before, and you couldn't pay them what they're worth. But if you give them equity, you allow them to work for equity, they will bust their butt, and you're going to get a much better result. But that's, for me, was definitely an aha moment. Any other, because you've done a bunch of shenanigans, kind of like I have. So what? share maybe one or two other aha moments that you've had through your life.
Doing in real estate related stuff?
Yeah. In general, right? Because I mean, to me, entrepreneurship and life, they're really closely kind of related.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, so what you just talked about, and I'm not going to be berate this point because you've already mentioned it and don't want to kick a dead horse here, but really having a scarcity mindset and a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset really changes your ability to perform. So I think, like you said, like having the idea of saying, hey, look, I want to create as much value as I can. There's more than enough opportunity. This is not my only chance to make money in this. there's going to be a deal just as good as this that's going to come around the corner, even though I could nudge you out and get a little more equity. Just saying, look, there's plenty of opportunity for everybody. If we work together, we can accomplish something greater than we can on our own. So like the name of my company is Syndicate, and I picked that because that's what that means. It means people coming together to do something greater together than they can on their own. I would say some aha moments for me when doing real estate, I think the one we already touched on that was actually one of the biggest ones for me was just realizing what is it that I love to do in my life. Life is, Michael, you're aware of this. You're doing stuff that sounds like you really love. You don't want to spend your life working at something that you don't enjoy. I mean, not every day and every moment are you going to love, but as a whole, you need to really put your life and energy and resources into something that makes you come alive, that blue flame of passion and where your talents meet. And it's worth finding, and it's worth searching, and it's worth taking the effort to try to do. And it's scary to take the risk and stepping out, but it's so worth it. And biggest regret I will ever have, and my biggest fear in life is looking back from my deathbed and saying, I wish I would have done something different. And so if you can start having those questions now and asking yourself those questions now, if you're comfortable and you have your 401k and you have this job that's okay, that you kind of like, but you wish there was more, and you're dreaming about something bigger and wider and doing more for your family, or the opportunity to travel, or whatever it is for you, ask those questions and don't get to the end of your life and go look back and go, man, I really wish I would have done it differently. Better to have that tough question now, take the leap, and it's not going to hurt as bad as you think it's going to hurt.
I think asking questions is critical, but I sometimes think that the problem isn't that people don't know what they should be doing. I think they know what they should be doing, but I think very few actually do something about it. And extricating themselves out of their current environment is very challenging. Certainly quitting their job is challenging, but you extricate yourself out of what's arguably even more complicated than a job. You actually had a business and employees that were depending on you. How did you, and I include your wife with that, right? Because your spouse has to be on board with the craziness. How are you able to extricate yourself? And I'm not saying the mechanics of it, but the mindset of it. Why did you and your wife think that you could actually do this?
Yeah. So exactly what you said. So it's about action, right? So you either, and the why just has to be big enough. Like you have to have a reason that is large enough to move you out of your state of homeostasis and comfort. And for me, we talked about traveling the world for 10 years before we ever did it. And we picked the worst possible time. A 4-month-old kid in traveling the world, Michael, that is dumb. Like that is a really dumb move. But you just I kind of got to the point where it's either we got to kind of crap or get off the pot, like we're either going to do it now or we're never going to do it. And so the reason was just big enough for me. And what I was doing was just so not worth it that it made me kind of rethink that and took the leap. And Michael, I got to tell you, it was scary. Like it was really, really scary. I had, there's financial things that came up like with the process of leaving and moving that put me in a worse situation than I thought I was going to be. So we still took the step and we had our expenses covered for the most part, and a lot of other elements that made it a lot easier for us than it would be for most people. But still, it was really scary. But when you do it, you realize that fear that you were so afraid of is not that big. It's a big bark with not a lot of teeth, and you're resilient, a lot more resilient than you think. And even if it doesn't work out exactly how you thought, you'll figure it out, and life works out. So, but yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you too, Michael. It's about action. So those people there, I have this saying for people that the people that drive me crazy, like the people that frustrate me the most, I call them NATOs. No action, talk only. Like that drives me bananas. So people that are, say, hey, I want to do this in my life. I want to do it. If you're watching right now or listening or whatever, and you're looking for that push or that impetus to actually go do the thing that is right for you to do, I'm telling you, man, do it. It is worth it. I'm on the other side of that and not looking back. Even if I would have failed, landed on my face and would have come back home with, all my property somehow disappeared and the meteor hit them and there's a lapse in coverage on my insurance and I had to start over from zero, I have no regrets. And I think making the decision to do what's in my heart was worth every bit of that.
Yeah. So you gotta be intentional. But what if the time's not right?
Timing's never right. I mean, really, honestly, like when is the timing right? Is the timing right when you have a 4-month-old infant? No, it's not. Like, is the timing right when you don't have all your finances perfectly together? No, it's not. I mean, you prepare the best you can, but you just have to do it. You have to take the step at some point. I mean, that's my perspective. Maybe, there are probably some scenarios there. Maybe you're in $100,000 of credit card debt and you're swimming, you can barely figure it. Maybe it's not the right time to take a big step and try to do some, life-changing scenario for you. But I'd say for the most people, like, timing is never right. If you're waiting for perfect timing, you're just never going to get it. So, yeah.
What are you really excited about right now? What's next for you?
I'm really excited about, honestly, it sounds funny that I left all this to go do something else because I wasn't liking real estate, but I'm excited about real estate, man. I'm loving it. I'm crushing it. We're finding a lot of really awesome opportunities. We're looking at doing $30 million of real estate this year. That would, if we accomplish that, that'll put us most likely at the fastest growing company in Kansas City in 2019. We closed a hotel a month ago. We have another one under contract. I got a really cool commercial property that I have under contract right now with a really interesting tenant with co-working and shuffleboard concepts, some really fun stuff there. Got offers out on some multifamily deals. So just doing all that stuff, man, I'm like super jazzed about it. I love the hunt and kill component of it, and I love finding a really good opportunity and executing on it. And something on a real estate level, I'd say, like, as a maybe a useful point to someone listening, like, I think something that's really helped me succeed, because right now, if you look at the climate of the real estate market, multifamily, just there is cap rates are horrible. There are really difficult to be able to find opportunities that really make sense. But how I've been successful at still finding good multifamily investment opportunities or other unique opportunities is really trying to figure out and find opportunity where other people missed it. So if something, is not penciling, it's at a 5 cap, but you go look at it and you realize, wait a minute, I could run laundry, into these closets that are here, and then I could add $50 a unit, to my costs, to my revenue, and it only cost me this much. Or, hey, they're underutilizing this component or this component of this deal. And then you can really find ways to add value and find that opportunity where other people don't see it. So every deal that I've done, the last 4 or 5 deals that I've done, I've actually purchased at, things that didn't look like they made a lot of sense. But when you kind of bring that level of creativity to it, you can find really, really, really great deals. I mean, I don't buy a deal unless it's a 9.5 cap or better. So the stuff that I'm finding is amazing, and there's stuff that other people had plenty of time to look at, and I'm just seeing opportunity where other people didn't see it.
Well, let's talk about that because there's a growing frustration from a lot of people that it's tougher to find deals. But and like you said, what are some of the opportunities that people are missing that you're seeing, which allows you to pay essentially asking price or possibly even higher, let's say, but you're seeing opportunity that someone else is not, which allows you to pay asking or slightly higher? What are some of the things that you've been doing?
All right. So if we just want to focus wholly on multifamily here, I mean, I'll give you a good example of a project that I'm working on right now. It's a smaller deal, but so we have, it's property, decent location. It's a seller that lives in California. It's an off-market property. So that's one piece too, is if you can find as many off-market deals as you can, that's the way to go. Now, so I have enough time. The guy's motivated to sell, and he just hasn't fixed up his properties in a while. He has 2 down units in it, but he's still asking a price that he can command in the market, even though there's still a lot of work to be done on it. But I think one piece that was interesting as part of the pro forma was a really, really large line item for doing the exterior work on the property. And I thought, I'm like, man, $500,000 to do that much, tuck pointing. I mean, I did a deal that was 4 times the size of this, and I spent a quarter of that, on the tuck pointing and fixing decks externally and repairing. So what I did is I got some of my own team to go out there and check it out, and some other contractors to double check the numbers. And it turns out I was right. So, $400,000 of repair costs that we thought was part of that budget is not there, and which turns the deal from 7 cap to 9.5, and 9.5 is my floor, but multifamily, that's hard to find. So
That's nice.
Yeah, so that's that example. Or give you another example. I try to negotiate a lot of seller finance deals, and I had a fair bit of success at that so far. First deal the deal I closed at the end of last year, was a boutique hotel, bed and breakfast, and really, really beautiful, expensive, $200 to $400 a night to stay there. And it hit the market, and I went and saw it right away, and there were like 11 business cards of people that toured it in the first 3-4 days. And so I asked the agent, hey, I will make an offer if you allow me to sit down and talk with the seller. I'm like, oh, I'm just make an offer. And I make an offer. I'm like, well, no, give me a face-to-face with the seller, and I will guarantee you I will leave there with an offer. And I've been very successful at helping make deals work like this. Anyway, talked her into doing that. So I sit down with the seller, kind of give him my credibility story, 14 years of experience, about 350 properties. Here are deals I've done in the city, and so sort of built that rapport with the guy, and then was able to kind of see in that negotiation period, like, what is it that he is really trying to get out of this deal, and was able to move the pieces around so that I could actually get him what he's looking for, but still getting what I want out of the deal. So I ended up paying $50,000 over asking price for the property. But I ran my numbers before, had my pro forma, really tightly dialed in. I knew that would still work for me, and I was able to get him to carry back 92% of the financing for 5 years at 5% interest.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
That $50,000, I mean, I saved that just in interest over the next 5-year period of time. So you kind of figure out what those moving pieces, and for him, man, he wanted to give me as much as I can possibly get someone confident I can get it done, and I want out of this thing. And after we got under contract, I think 2 weeks later, a similar property hit the market, and it was listed for 60% more than I got under contract for, even paying $50,000 more for it. So it's like really looking at something and not being afraid to break the mold of, oh, I paid more than he wanted, or he was even asking for it, because I was able to get it done. But when it's a deal and it makes sense in your pro forma, you go up to that limit and really figure out how to move the pieces around to be able to get that done.
Yeah, I think it's very clever to request an in-person meeting with a broker, especially say, hey, I guarantee you I'll come out there with a deal. That's nice. That's nice. That's a lot of confidence. The other question then people will have is, that's great, Paul, but how are you finding the off-market deals?
Okay, so that's pure hustle. All right, so there's no shortcut to that, Michael. But a really good strategy.
Come on, give me the quick three steps.
I'll give you like the secret. The secret is simple, and it's not fun, and it absolutely works. And if you want to get the highest return on time, like cash return on your time, this is the one activity you can do that is literally the most profitable opportunity that you can do in real estate, in my opinion. Okay, and it is cold call off-market properties. Like literally just find the contact information. If you're a broker or a broker or whatever, they'll have a list of a lot of places, and you can go on CoStar and you can actually get the contact information for these apartment complexes. And you sit there and you do this is the thing. If you do the things that other people don't enjoy doing, you tend to benefit, and you have reward from that. You get paid in proportion to size problems you solve. And so if you do something that's uncomfortable, solving a large problem, you get rewarded according to it. So we spend 3 to 4 hours a day cold calling off-market properties, and results come. I'm not kidding. I look at 2, 3, 4 apartment deals. So it's not even like talking, other stuff that's easier to buy a week that I get to analyze and comb through doing that. And it's not fun, and you get rejected, and you just, as long as you're willing to deal with that, like there is crazy opportunity, even in the market like it is right now. I'm not kidding. I'm getting really good multifamily property when everybody else is looking for something and buying stuff at 5 caps.
Yeah. Are you doing the calling, or do you have someone do that for you?
I have team members that do the calling for me.
Now we get to
but I started out doing the calling though, so I was doing the cold calling and doing all that. Now
you delegate it. That's right. And now you're getting the information out of CoStar. Are you getting that? Do you have direct access? Are you getting it through a broker, and how are you compensating that broker, if so?
So we are, my partners in Syndicate own this company called Clemens Real Estate. Has all the different verticals of real estate, and they also have a brokerage. So we are a brokerage. Well, Syndicate's not a brokerage, but my partners are a brokerage, and we office together, so it kind of feels like we're doing that together. And so we have access to CoStar, and my partners are also brokers, and the team members that I have on my team are brokers. So that's how we get access to CoStar, and then access to really a wealth of information. So like Clemens Real Estate has been doing commercial real estate deals for 17 years as a brokerage in Kansas City. So the database they have is enormous. And so there are other brokers in markets that you're in, where you can find a reputable local branch and you're going to get access to stuff that a lot of people won't have access to just by being part of a local brokerage that, has the contact information of people that people are just too lazy and frankly just don't want to put in the hard work to be able to pick up the phone and make those calls.
Yeah, so I already hear the whining and the viewers and the listeners. I don't have a partner who's a broker. Okay,
Yeah.
how do I get myself access to these off-market deals through CoStar? What would you throw out some ideas? Being the entrepreneur you are.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, you don't need CoStar. All CoStar is someone doing the research, a little bit of research and legwork for you. So, the traditional way you do this is you find a property, you find addresses, you just go on Google Maps, you search out different apartment complex, tag them, get an address, and you can go in the proper tax records, which is all online now, by the way. You can find numbers, you can find email addresses, you can find contact information, and then you just kind of PI and private investigator, you kind of go find that information, either through online, through LinkedIn, through Facebook, all the different ways that you can do that to find that information. And then even better than that, find an area. Say, this is my map. This is my 5 mile or 3 mile by 1 mile radius. That this is the area I'm going to focus on for the next month. And then you literally just tag every single one of the apartment complexes in that area and drive in and go take a look at them, talk to them, and say, hey, look, I'm a guy buying deals. I'd love to talk to the owner. Is there any way I can get in touch with them? What's the property management company that is managing this company? Oh, it's Celtic Property Management. Okay, great. Pick up the phone, call Celtic, say, hey, there's this project. I'm a serious buyer. I'm looking at it. It seems really interesting to me. Will you put me in touch or send an email and connect me with the guy? Okay, great. I'll do that. You just build those relationships and you'll just start to notice that you'll start seeing more and more deals coming through, your flow. And you just got to, if you don't have CoStar or brokerage, you just got to do a little bit more, put in a little bit more effort, but you can still get the same results.
Are you still using brokers, or are you completely doing stuff off market now?
I usually, since Clemens is, since we have brokers on our team, I use a lot of brokers. So they're doing a lot of the calls for me and reaching out. So often I'll use a broker. Here's a secret, that kind of a tip that I used so I started off buying single families, about 40 single family houses a year. And the deal that I kind of got known for, and why I started getting all these opportunities where other people weren't, is I would find these deals on the MLS myself or some other place. I would call the listing broker and I'd say, hey, represent me and I want to buy the property. So I would buy the property with them. They make both sides of the commission. Now, if they get 2 or 3 offers in, now they're not supposed to do this, but honestly, if you get 2 or 3 offers in, they're all about the same. One, you make double what you're going to make versus the other guy. Which one are you going to push to your seller?
Yeah.
You're going to push the one you make.
Well, I wonder if you can outsource.
Well, I'll do that, and
Yeah, I wonder if you can outsource this so you can find
the other part of that
commercial broker, right? And you have them do it. They have access to CoStar, and you say, "Hey, I want you to call 20 people every single day, and then they'll cover your commission. If they don't, I will."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's
you got to be creative. But what you're saying, bottom line, is you gotta hustle to some degree, and there's no shortcuts.
Yeah, there's no shortcut to that, but it doesn't take as long as you think. You don't need to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week to be able to get this done and do 3, 4, or 5 good multifamily projects a year. If you do the hard work, you spend 3 or 4 hours doing the cold calling and a day, and then you map out areas and you just strategically go through your city and do this, you're going to shake out 4 or 5 great deals, a year that you can do. And that's, unless you want to do $200 million of deals a year, that's not going to satisfy that. But if you want to do, 15, 20, $30 million of transactions a year, and you can do it that way.
What's your advice to someone who wants to kind of do what you want to do? They want to do whatever they want to do. They want to travel more, or they want to pursue a particular passion. They're on the sidelines a little bit. What's your advice to someone like that?
I would say, you found the right place. My opinion, I think real estate investing is the best place to build wealth long-term of any other opportunity on the planet. Even if you just want to do small potatoes, retire early, do that. You can buy 10 single family houses, put them on 20-year notes, just pay them off, hand them to a property management company, and there you go. Stock market's not going to do that for you. Other opportunities that I've seen, and this is my perspective, you might have a different perspective, that's fine, but you're not going to get that. But if you're sitting on the sidelines, I think A, you found the right place. I think B, you're educating yourself, which is so important. The biggest investment, you hear this said a lot, but it's really true. Like investing in your knowledge base is one of the most important things that you can possibly do. And then really it comes down to getting your jersey dirty. You just got to get out there and get started doing it. I would say that if you're on the sidelines and you're sort of waiting for the opportunity to kind of come to you, you need to be proactive and you need to start looking at deals. Like set yourself a goal of something like, I'm going to look at 10 deals a week, come hell or high water, even if they're bad, and I'm just going to go look at 10 deals every single week, where you're analyzing, putting it through your pro forma until you find it. Say, I'm going to make 3 offers a month. And that's going to happen no matter what. If you're getting started, if you're in it and you're doing it, they make a lot more than 3 offers a month, but do that. Like take some serious action. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. So take those steps and you're going to be surprised by the results. This is an incredible industry. There's a reason why there's podcasts like this that exist. There's reasons why there's all this kind of education, because it's made more millionaires than any other industry in the history of the world. So you're in the right spot and just go out there and do it.
Paul, how do people connect with you?
Best way to connect with me is if you're an accredited investor and you're looking to invest in deals and you want to do it with me or want to start exploring that, you can go to my website. It's syndicatekansascity.com, all spelled out. Information below, just put your information in there and we'll get in touch with you. That's one. 2 is if you just want to learn about real estate and you want to get more of like the brass tacks, like really, really practical advice related to cap rates and just all the information that I learned over the last 14 years doing real estate full time. I'm starting a website called howtoinvestinrealestate.net, just spell it all out, .net. And I'll start posting videos and content there. There's great stuff like Michael's out there, but mine is just really just about my all the stuff that I learned over the last 14 years.
That's fantastic. So that'll be in the show notes as well at themichaelblunt.com/session153. So check out Paul's website. And it looks like you're putting out some really cool content. So thank you for that. And thank you, by the way, for coming on the show. You have a great story. It will inspire thousands. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, man. Was that good or what? 2 key lessons here. One is you got to be intentional in life. Intention really requires that you reflect on yourself and your surroundings. What do you love to do? What don't you love to do? What really gets you lit up? And in the case of Paul's case, he and his wife really wanted to travel more, and that's really what started it. It was kind of the carrot and the stick a little bit almost. It was like, I really want to do this, and I really don't enjoy doing that, right? And if you're in a place like that, you have a giant gap between what you're doing right now and what you want to do. If that's you right now, then I encourage you to really listen to that, okay? Really listen to that and be intentional about that. And I think a lot of you, like I said on the show, know what that is. You know what you don't like, and you know the life you want to live, but you're not doing it. What are you doing about that? Really think about that, right? If you had another week to live, all right, and it was the last, or let's say 6 months, whatever, right? If you knew that your time on this earth is limited, would you continue living the life you do now? And if the answer is no, why aren't you doing something about it? Really think about that. And I really respect Paul for doing that. And like he said, the time is never right. It's never right. The finances aren't right. You're married, you're not married, you have a kid, you don't have a kid, you're retirement, you have a house, you have a mortgage, you have a business. Time is actually never right. Never. Okay. And people who are waiting for that are gonna wait forever for that. So that's number one, is really be intentional in life. That's very important. And the second one is, and I love this, is more tactical on the multifamily front, is you got to hustle. And I love the way that Paul is finding off-market deals. And he started it doing it himself. He doesn't love doing it. Who really loves cold calling? No one loves that. In the beginning, you're bootstrapping stuff, okay? You don't have maybe the income that you can hire somebody. And also, you want to figure out what's the process, what's the script, how do you do it? So you got to do it yourself and then outsource it later on. That's kind of where he is right now. And I love that. And there's other ways you can get information. You can also go to listsource.com. Listsource.com on last week's or 2 weeks ago, Corey Boatrod and Sean Terry, 2 huge wholesalers, talked about how they buy lists from ListSource and then skip trace the owners of that and then do the same thing. They'll mail them stuff and they'll call them. So it's something that you should definitely put into your toolbox. And Paul really made it clear that if you're prepared to hustle, you will do deals. And I can just say from the deals that we get in from the deal desk, it's certainly, people are definitely doing deals. And with the thing that they all have in common, they're all hustling. They're not making a couple offers and then are wondering why the deals aren't coming to them. They're making stuff happen. They're networking. They're calling with brokers. They're visiting with brokers. They're finding off-market deals. So you got to have hustle, and that's what Paul has. And it's great that he was able to share some of those tactics. So definitely check out Paul's website as well. We're also always looking for accredited and non-accredited investors. And if you're interested in finding out more about opportunities, then go to themichaelblanc.com/invest and fill out the form. And our company is called Nighthawk Equity. Fill out the form there, and so we get to know you a little bit more. And we'll schedule a call with you, and then you'll be able to check out some of our investment opportunities. We have several of them right now, so we'd love to talk to you if you're interested in investing with us. All right, guys, that's it for today. Oh, before you go, make sure you check out Dealmaker Live. That's at themichaelblanc.com/event. That's July 25 to 27 in Dallas. Look forward to seeing you guys there and catch you in the next episode. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Now, as the next step, download this ebook right here, okay? When you've downloaded that, make sure you also subscribe to my YouTube channel, because then you can get all of the videos that I release as soon as I release. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now. Click on that right now. And then also make sure that this is the next best video to watch, is this one right here. So hope you enjoyed that. I'll catch you next time.